Hello and welcome to Callisto's live YouTube channel. Before we get started today, if you like the content, like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for any other videos you would want me to go through, any other page you'd want me to analyze, leave the comments down in the comment section and I will try my best to do those. Also, I do live stream on Twitch Monday to Friday. I will be live tonight. Link is in the description right here. Boom, boom, boom. Live trading, live analysis, all kinds of different people coming through, beginners, experienced traders, swing traders, scalp traders, not just Forex traders either. We've got stock traders, equity traders, you know, indices, all that kind of stuff. So come through, have a chat, have some fun, you know what I mean? Interact with some other traders. And also Twitter and TikTok is where I post some more content as well, some analysis and things like that. Twitter is probably the best place to get in contact with me. I do post when I go live and things like that. So yeah, those are all the links. That is that. Let's get into the video. Oops. Okay, the window doesn't want to work. Let me do this. And then let me do this, and then we do this, and then we do that, and then we do that. Okay. So looking at GJ today so far. So if we look at the weekly, this is the weekly candle right here. So if we look at last week's candle, it spiked up, right? Made its top wick up here from the previous weekly, and then ended up just falling all the way. Very nice, you know, downtrend started last week on GJ. We have like this area right here, and it also closed bearish, as you can see from the red box. So this is last week's candle in 30-minute time frame. So it did break the highs and break the lows, but it did close pretty strong bearish. So at this point, I've marked out previous weekly lows. This is this level down here, support. This is obviously a key support now. It's had 3 rejections, 1, 2, 3, and bounced up. So ideally, I would like to see it continue bearish at this point, just to follow this pullback or this downtrend, whatever it may be. Just yeah, to continue that. Looking at the daily, so let's have a look at Friday's daily candle. So this is Friday's daily candle. Now, if we take a look at the daily before, we had all these bearish daily candles. This is a daily candle, daily candle, daily candle, daily candle. They all did one thing, which is what? They respected previous highs, right? So there's high, respected it, and then broke previous lows, made a new low. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And then Friday's candle didn't break previous lows and also didn't break previous highs. So we did have a bullish candle closure on the daily on GJ, but it hasn't, it's like an inside bar candle, right? Which means it didn't break the highs, didn't break the lows, it just played within those two areas. So looking at today on GJ, we are currently testing previous daily highs right here, right? You see that? This is previous daily highs. We have wicked into that, and we've left a nice rejection wick up into there. So if we take a look at the 4-hour candles now, what we have seen today, if I just put my sessions chart on, so this is the first 4-hour candle of today and the second, which has just closed. We have made a low, right? A pullback. So we pull back of like 78 pips. So that's a bottom wick on the daily potentially and the weekly of 78 pips. And now this candle has come up and broke the previous 4-hour high and not broke the previous 4-hour low. So now on the 4-hour, this is in that uptrend, right? Respecting the lows, breaking the highs. And now what I'd just like to see is this daily level, previous daily high, potentially be broken. If we can close above here, then I'll potentially be looking at buys on GJ above this level 166982, right? But looking overall at the trend, at the weekly, the daily, it is very bearish. So what I would like to see is price potentially reject this level, which it is currently doing. Potentially reject this daily level, and then start turning bearish for maybe mid-London going into New York session at this point, because what I'd want to see is this 4-hour candle now, the one that's currently opened 20 minutes ago, to make a top wick. So come up here, spike out, make a top wick, and then start breaking down and breaking these 4-hour lows, right? And then I'd want that next 4-hour candle after that to make a top wick and then break the previous 4-hour candle lows, which would be in here. So this is looking tonight around about New York session, I would say, for some sales. I'll be waiting for that to set up. And if we do get a pop above this level and then potentially break this trend line, then just to follow this 4-hour trend, what I'd be looking for is, this candle to come down, make a bottom wick, break the previous 4-hour, break this previous daily high, close above this level, and then I'd enter on this next 4-hour candle to come down, make a bottom wick, and then break this 4-hour candle's highs right here, right? So that's what I'll be looking for buyers. Clean breaks above these levels and continuation in the next 4-hour candle after this current one. Or I would be looking at sales once price starts breaking down, breaking some of these 4-hour lows in here, and then retracing. And then for the next 4-hour candle after that, I'll be looking for sales just to continue this downward trend. Looking at the weekly, I mean, it's a top wick of 10, 11 pips on the weekly. It's not that big. If we have a look, turn off this. If we have a look at the weekly, I mean, is that enough of a top wick on the weekly time frame? For me, not really. So I think price could come up and make a bit more of a top wick here. Maybe something like this, something like this, something like this, or maybe even something like this, right? 123 pips. So if price is gonna do the same, so you can see this bullish candle up, rejection wick, and then price continue down. So we've got the bullish candle up, rejection, and then so this next candle would potentially want something like this, 123 pip top wick, and then you'd want price to drive down and break these lows. So that's also something we could look out for. The weekly only has a 10 pip top wick. If it is going to drive down here, how long is it going to drive down for? So that's something we need to be wary of. But yeah, let's see if it does continue this downtrend on GJ. So yeah, buys with closures above 166.982, and then sells. I'll keep that updated on my Twitter, and also that analysis will be reanalyzed during tonight's stream if you wanted to check that out. Looking at Euro USD, let's have a look at the weekly again here. So last week's candle closed bearish, as you can see, big red candle, and it did respect the previous weekly highs and broke previous weekly lows. So from the weekly perspective, on the weekly time frame, it's looking like Euro USD is potentially bearish, right? So now we have previous weekly highs that price is currently tapping into. You see this level right here? This is previous weekly highs, right? If we have a look at the weekly candle, that was the high, and that's to the body right there. If we drag that across, you can see the resistance more clearly where it's been tapped in here, it's been tapped in here, and then it came up, tapped in here, and dropped. So now we've tapped in here late Friday. So this was still the weekly. We tapped in it. We opened today and we sold off. Now we've come back for another tap. We do have this like trend line. I don't really trade trend lines, but I mean, it is what it is. It's currently in this like trend kind of pullback phase where we can potentially look for a break of this to look for that breakout. And yeah, so that's the previous weekly closed bearish. We are at that weekly resistance again. You can see it's a pretty strong resistance. We've got 1 rejection, 2 rejections, 3 rejections, 4 rejections. So if it's going to drop, it should drop pretty soon. Whereas if it continues to try and test this resistance, it's most likely going to break it. Looking at the daily, we can see that the daily candle did close very bullish, right? Respected previous daily lows. So here's previous daily lows. Respected them, didn't break them, and then broke previous daily highs over here. If you take a look at that, so there's previous daily highs, broke it, tapped it, continued. So yeah, I would like to see price continue bearish. Just looking at the overall trend, this could just be pullbacks into this resistance again for then it to sell off. Looking at the daily, yeah, currently you'd probably only be looking at buys at this point. And would have to wait for sales to see how this daily candle closes. But just from this move and price breaking out of this trend, respecting the lows, breaking the highs, I would want to see it close above this level at 0.99761. I'd want to see a closure like this above, and then this next 4-hour candle whatever that may be, to come down like this, bump, tap, and then flip bullish, and then I'll be looking to take buys in here to go up right at the break of the previous 4-hour high. So let's just take a look at the 4-hour chart real quick. So this is the 4-hour, right? We did open today, we did sell off, break previous 4-hour lows, but then we've come up, and now this candle, again, an inside bar, didn't break the lows, didn't break the highs. We are rejecting this weekly resistance. So at this point, I'll just be waiting for closures above this level to continue bullish, or I'll be waiting for this trend on the 4-hour now to start turning bearish. So this candle respected the highs and respected the lows, but now if this candle respects, this 4-hour candle respects highs as well, and then starts breaking these lows down here, then we can take sales at this next 4-hour candle after the current one in around about 4 hours time, 3.5 hours time. So yeah, that is my analysis for today. Again, start of the week, we just gotta have to wait and see how this week plays out. We got to look at the weekly candle making potential top and bottom wicks, because it, as we know, 99% of the time it's always going to make that top or bottom wick depending on the trend, and then continue in the current trend, right? So you might see price drive down a little bit, and you'll be like, oh, price is selling off, but then that could just be the weekly bottom wick or the weekly low wick for it then to flip back bullish and continue bullish back above here, right? So those are the things that we have to, or I have to look out for, take into consideration. Just wait and see how the weekly opens up, what it's doing. We can always go to the weekly and just take a look. So if I looked at this on the weekly here on Euro USD, I would say that this is bearish, right? Because if we just take a look over here, boom, 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 we just look at this exact same move that happens over and over again, right? So we can see that it happened here. Price sold off, and then we had a couple of bullish candles pull back. We had rejection, 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 and then price sold off again down here. And then price pulled back, rejection, 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 and then price sold off again down here. And then price pulled back, rejection, 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 and then price sold off again. And then price pulled back, and then sold off. And now price is doing that again. It's pulling back. We've got a rejection wick, 1, 2. We didn't break that weekly high, and we broke the low. So now I would just be potentially waiting for this weekly to make that top wick somewhere in here, like push up into here, maybe into this resistance over here on the weekly, tap into that level that we can see right there, which looks pretty nice, right? Tap into that again maybe, and then we could see those sales coming in potentially. So we just got to look at these patterns and just wait for them to repeat themselves. Looking at this on the lower time frames, this kind of move right here, you'd be like, oh, this is an uptrend, Euro USD is bullish. And then if you just took a second to look at the weekly, you'd say, okay, we're going to turn bullish for here. We can look at buys for the time being, but eventually we need to be looking at these rejections, which come in every time, come in every time, come in every time. You know what I'm saying? Every time the price goes down and pulls back, we're looking for these rejections on the weekly time frame, right? We're looking for the rejection wicks for then price to continue bearish, right? And we've got them all through here. We've got them here as well. And now if we look, we have one here, and we also have one here, which looks, it could do exactly like what this did, right? Bullish candle, rejection wick, and then this next week came down, sold off. Bullish candle, rejection wick, and then this one did come and sell off, but then we did have that news, NFP, and we had a lot of news this week that potentially pushed this back up. But now this week could drive down again and feel like we can continue bearish. So yeah, that's something got to look out for, right? So I would say long term overall bearish, and you wait for that sell off again to happen. We do have the wicks, we do have the rejections in here now on the weekly time frame, so this could sell off, pretty much any time now. We just got to wait and anticipate it, wait for that trend to kick in, and then we can look for those sells. Again, if you look at the daily, as it's coming down, we have the pullback phase, and then you have price break out of that, right? And then you have the pullback phase, and then price breaks out of it, and then you have the pullback phase, and then price breaks out of it. And this is the daily time frame as well, so this is over a pretty long period of time, right? pullback phase, price breaks out of it, pullback phase, price breaks out of it. You know what I'm saying? And continues. So that's what we've had recently, and price has broke out of it and tried to push down, but now we've closed back inside of it. So, and this is where the news comes in, right? And this could just have that shock effect from the news, push price back up momentarily, and then once that news is settled into the market and the market has took that news on, then we can get that sell off again after that, for that continuation. But now we just need to wait and see what is going on this bear. So that is that for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I will be live tonight with potentially updated analysis on EUR USD and GBP JPY, depending on what happens during now and London session, New York session. But go over to the Twitch, hit the follow, so you will be notified when I go live, so you won't miss out. And yeah, that is that. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Appreciate the support, appreciate the follows and the subscribers and the likes and everyone who has been viewing my stuff. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to see that your effort and your, what you're trying to do is slowly starting to come into fruition, and people are starting to watch the videos and engage more and stuff like that. So I am really appreciative of all that. Thank you guys, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.